When you're in the minority, it doesn't often go the way you vote, and that's been the problem through this process. And now, you know, what we have is, once again, an actual path forward, an actual solution that has been denied a chance to come to the floor. I've said consistently that this is not how this gets done, and unfortunately, we're seeing another example of that.
Were you satisfied with PennDOT's explanation of the trust fund balance?
No. I mean, the idea that dollars can't be flexed, the governor proved that. You know how many shovel-ready projects were ready in rural Pennsylvania when those dollars got flexed to bail out SEPTA? Look, we all acknowledge that mass transit is vital to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but it has to be done within the context of an entire budget product. And this was a way forward. This was a way forward that's been demonstrated before. The idea that $400 million has come into the fund since January. If all of these projects were shovel-ready and ready to go, then these funds would not continue to accumulate. It just doesn't pass the smell test.
The other night, we saw each other, you criticized the House and House Democrats for putting something up for a vote that didn't have an agreement in both chambers. Republicans in the Senate just did the same thing. What do you say to that?
The reason I criticized it then is because this is what it leads to. If this is the way that we want to negotiate through bill passage, it will continue to set us back. And we're finding that out. If things aren't agreed to in the room where difficult conversations had to happen, they're sure as hell not going to be agreed to in these kind of forums.
Some allege that politics are in play and they're using this issue to flip some purple districts. Do you believe that?
I try not to be that cynical. I think what's at play here is the future of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's finances. Trust me, mass transit is not the only one that is struggling with sustainability. The entire Commonwealth is, because our economic growth is nowhere near where it should be. That's the only way to sustainable budgets in the future. And if we don't start getting some of that into our budget product, we're going to be in just as much trouble, if not more, in a few years.
Is skill games the only path forward?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, does this change your thinking on new revenue sources like skill games for cannabis?
There's the number one revenue source that is reliable is economic growth. I don't really buy into the other revenue sources as being as sustainable as unleashing an energy industry here in Pennsylvania.
Do you, I mean, skill games, do you believe that's the path forward? You don't believe that's the path forward?
I believe a robust gaming bill that actually ensures that every aspect of the gaming industry is as good as it can be is good for Pennsylvania. And I think we need to look at the opportunities that are out there. But in terms of a bill product, as you can see, we don't have one yet.
Leader, we talked to Scott Martin earlier. He said he would not advance a budget with sales tax revenue being added to mass transit. Is there a balance here? Can there be a balance with ruling that out?
Well, I think a budget product will produce a balance. If we continue to try and do it in a silo and pass bills back and forth on specific issues, I think it'll be very difficult to reach that agreement.
Y'all just had like a week going back and forth and nothing has been accomplished. What are we looking at with actually getting this done?
No, we're going to look at some very difficult work in the days ahead. There's a reason why it's difficult work. You have a divided government. You have two diametrically opposed visions for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. To try and get that to a point that is reconciled is very difficult. I think the governor can do a lot to get more involved and be helpful with that.
If SEPTA was clearly not okay with this particular proposal.
Not today. Last night it didn't seem like it was that way, but I guess things changed.
Does SEPTA's reaction to this, does that affect the willingness to help SEPTA find a solution for them going forward?
This isn't about SEPTA. This is about the people of the Commonwealth who use SEPTA and you use roads and bridges. I'm not really into special interest groups of any kind dictating how this budget goes. It's about what's good for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from the southeast part of the state, the southwest to the northwest, the center parts of the state. It has to be a budget deal in all cases, including transportation funding, that includes the growth for everybody in the Commonwealth. It's not about SEPTA, it's not about Jesse Topper, it's about the good of the Commonwealth.
So how would you characterize Governor Shapiro's involvement?
Needs more.
Have the House Dems been communicating with you guys about what next steps will be?
I think there's open lines of communication. I think Leader Bradford would suggest that. I don't know that the communication has been as productive as we needed to be. Clearly it hasn't, but at least the lines of communication I think have been open between all parties.
What more should happen for those communications to be productive?
Well, I'm not going to, more people that are in the rooms need to come to a sense of reality, and that's all of us. What can be done? What can be accomplished?
Is this something that, are we getting a state budget next week? Are we getting it in September? Is this,
We're getting a state budget when the realism sets in for everybody as to what the state can afford moving forward.
What is that realism that you just mentioned? What can the state afford in your eyes?
Well, if there's no economic growth, we can't afford too darn much. So we need to make sure there's policy that matches any kind of budgetary product. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.